Yo guys, today we're gonna talk about the best tips and tricks to rank up in solo queue. When you play solo or duo or trio, it's pretty much the same, but you know, duo is very similar to solo queue. In this game, I'm actually playing with CC, which is solo and duo queue. Yeah, that's right. Anyways, let's quickly talk about the first and most important tip, which is farm focus. If you watch our Hanzo videos, you probably already know that we've been focusing on farm always. Doesn't matter where we go, it's always farm focus. The kills just happen as casualties, but they're not like the main priority. The priority has always been farm, right? Wherever we can see farms. And in this game specifically, I will go over the YSS game because my Hanzo got banned by my own mid laner. Even though I showed the win rate, I showed that I'm gonna play Hanzo, showed the MMR, doesn't matter. They're gonna ban it. All right, let's talk about it. We started off red, quickly went to blue, take the small camp, and notice that the enemy started red, so it's opposite, right? They didn't mirror our jungle, but it's opposite. They started red, we started red. And what happens is, that means usually the small camp next to the top tier 1 tower is available. So instead of going for your own camp, what I will do is take a route up, take their small camp, and go back to the Go Crab, go back to our own small camp, in our own blue side jungle. Now, we just happened to meet a Hylos in the middle, so we, got a KO on Hylos. Right after that, you can see Argus actually taking a while to rotate towards the turtle because he was on the bottom side. We're gonna get a free turtle, right? And by the way, when you play something like YSS, you can always leverage a skill 1, the crowd control immunity, to do something here. Over here, we're mostly trying to save Badon in case he was constantly being chased. So do some damage here, nothing very, very serious. Meanwhile, Hylos, again, being very clumsy character he is, just get Sally. What's the word called? Murdered. That's right. Actually, he's just collateral damage. We didn't want to kill the horse, but the horse just happened to be there at the wrong place at the wrong time. Right after that, you're gonna go back to farm. Again, your number 1 tips and tricks is farm, okay? That means the number 2 tip is how do you farm, which is related to looking at minimap. I mentioned this in our previous videos in the new season. It's more important so than ever. Now that, in a game that is so old, Mobile Legends, you definitely want to look at minimap. If you're still playing this game without spending majority of your time looking at minimap, you're really not playing a mobile. I don't know what you're playing, okay? You can see that most of my time, I'm looking at a minimap, okay? Like literally, that's how I find farm. Because like when we talk about farm, the most important thing is looking at minimap. Because if you don't look at minimap, you don't know where the dots are, you don't know where the minion waves are. But if you look at a minimap, just like for example right now, you will notice that there's a minion wave in the mid lane that's about to collapse. On the bottom side, our clan might be in trouble, and enemy Sicilian might chase. If they over chase, there is an opportunity for us to get a kill. But if we have 3 people on the bottom side and not too much going on, I can find a rotation down to mid. And this is all decided based on the minimap information that we gathered. And that's why you look at a minimap. It's the second tip. If you don't look at, in fact, I think the ratio amount of time that you should spend on minimap in the main center of your screen should be like 7-3. Right? Or maybe like 8-2. For professional players, it's even more so to the minimap because that gives you the most amount of information, most useful information for you to analyze. Okay, should I go in? Should I escape? How many people are fighting here potentially? Minimap is the most important area. What about the rest of the 2 you are mentioning? What about the rest of the time? What are you gonna look at, Dave? Well, actually, just when team fight is happening, that's when you look at your screen, right? Your main screen. Most time when you're rotating or you're farming, you should just be staring at a minimap. There's no reason to look at your screen while you're hitting a red buff or a blue buff. You should be looking at a minimap, and see, okay, where is enemy jungler potentially are? Because if you have a really good roam player who's gathering information for you, okay, enemy jungle started blue, started red, that should tell you something. But if you don't look at minimap, you wouldn't know that information, right? And because we were looking at minimap, I know that after we won that team fight, we were able to notice that enemy blue was coming up because I always scout towards enemy blue side jungle or enemy jungle in general. We got information that enemy blue came up. And obviously, with that being said, we're gonna take a detour, go to enemy blue, invade as much as we can, so to take away the resources from enemy jungler. This way, you can see right now I'm level 9 and Argus is nowhere to be found, most likely dead, right? And when, again, this is the minimap, right? And I'm go back to why this is so important to look at minimap. Notice that after my blue buff, I wasn't go topside, but I use my ult, and I look at the minimap, I noticed Sicilian showed up, and I know that he doesn't have Purify anymore. I mean, he did, but he didn't have like any skills anymore. He's by himself because there's Argus on top side, there's Gato Kacha on top side, and mid lane is completely by himself. And there's no tier 1 tower, and that's all the information collected from minimap. That means if I go on the Sicilian right now, it's gonna be at best for him one-on-one. And there's no way that Sicilian can win a level 10 Sicilian right now. I mean, sorry, YSS right now at this point, right? Considering how much farm I have. If you look at how much farm I have right now, right? I'm sitting at level 10 at 4,300 gold compared to Sicilian, who's level 6. I'm 4 levels ahead, and he's only sitting at 2,500 gold, right? I'm literally 1,800 gold ahead. Compared to Argus only level 8. I'm 2 levels ahead comparing to my relative jungler, like respective jungler right on the other side. And he's sitting at like half an item behind me, 3,243, right? I'm 1,200 gold ahead. That's literally half an item because most items are around 2,000 gold-ish. So that's why it's important to look at, you know, minimap and constantly focus on farm. Because in any Mobile Legends, Honor of King, doesn't matter what you play, you will notice that if you have a drastic gold lead, that's how you win, right? I see a lot of people in the comment section constantly say, oh, look at, because we will, you know, do a really good play. And some of the viewers will say, oh, look at, you know, you're just like 2 to 3 levels ahead. Yes, we're 2 to 3 levels ahead. Have you noticed why we're 2 to 3 levels ahead, right? Because that's the most important thing. The most important thing is not about like, you know, oh, you should not about like, oh, I'm bullying people who are less level than me. That's not the point. The point is I put myself in a position where I'm constantly 2 to 3 levels ahead than an opponent. Doesn't matter which position they are, how much farm they have. I'm always the most farm. If you're behind on farm, that's when you have 0 chance to come back, 0 chance to win. So the second tip is looking at the minimap. The third tip is don't do turtle or lord when it comes up, okay? When you play solo queue, turtle and lord is how you lose the game. Especially when you don't know enemy jungler. Now, when I say that, it's a little bit like clickbaity, right? It's not, oh, don't do turtle and lord, what do you mean? Obviously, you want to do turtle and lord, but it's very conditional. It's very, very conditional. Lord might be more important than turtle. Turtle is super conditional. You might go through, I won tons of games without doing a single turtle. Now, not to say that turtle's not important. It's just not important in a landscape when you're playing a solo queue. This is a team fight objective. It doesn't offer any gold. In fact, let's watch myself taking down the turtle right here. And you can see how much gold I have, right? I killed a turtle here, and I got like 110 gold for killing the turtle. You know, it doesn't even offer me that much. It offers like everybody on the team gold. It offers everybody on the team experience. When you're carrying a dead weight team, it's pointless. It's literally pointless to give them that kind of buff. Especially when your EXP lane, when your Clash lane is losing. When they're losing, and you frequently notice when I play Hanzo, and why you should watch our Hanzo video, and why would you not, right? Because such great videos. If you watch a Hanzo tutorial, you probably notice, or the gameplay, that a lot of times my Clash lane, EXP lane, will be losing. Most of the time, when you play solo queue, you're gonna have bad teammates. Most of the time, especially when you have really high win rate, like assassindave. Right? You're gonna run into really, really bad teammates. And it frequently is the Clash lane, because EXP lane is one of the hardest lane to play. And I wouldn't blame the randoms for being bad, right? Because like I said, it's the hardest lane to play. So if they lose the lane, which is about 60% of the time they will lose the lane, guess what? You're not gonna go contest turtle, okay? It's pointless. However, a lot of jungler will start the opposite side of turtle, which gives you an opportunity to then go steal the enemy jungle, especially the first few jungle rotations, right? When the enemy team is doing the turtle and you know the blue buff is coming out, if you're playing Hanzo, you can go steal it. You're playing YSS, you can go steal it. Notice in this particular rotation here, because I was fighting top and we got a bunch of objectives, we got tower, we got kills, Argus allowed your time to steal our blue. That's a red. That's a right thing to do for him, but also we don't lose that much because we still got a bunch of objectives. There's not a single time that I'll stop farming. We're always farming. And that's a good thing for me. It's also a good thing for Argus. That's the right thing to do if you're playing solo queue Argus, if your team is feeding to the enemy YSS, right? So just remember, major objectives like Turtle and Lord is more for competitive play. It's not really for solo queue, all right? It's kind of pointless, really. The next tip when you're trying to play solo queue is be really, really patient on your engages. if you try to go in, especially when you play assassins, a lot of times, you know what's most frustrating? Let's say you're playing a character like YSS, you're playing a character like Hanzo, and then you try to go on to enemy team, right? Or Hayabusa. And notice your entire team is dead, especially in early to mid game. You're like, what do I do? And you get frustrated. Don't, right? I find myself frequently frustrated when I play solo queue and I run into this situation. And when I summarize, really think about it, the games that I won, the reason why we're able to win is because I was able to overcome the frustration. Don't get like bolted down by the frustration. In fact, you just get patience. And you notice the top solo queue players, the ranking up players, what they would do is this is especially obvious in Honor of King, by the way. Okay, the Honor of King top players are so patient. If their team is feeding, guess what they would do? They would just not fight. It's that simple. If your team is feeding in a team fight, they'll go in, do some poke, right? And if they find out, okay, well, the trend is not looking good for our team, they will back away, go to jungle, do the rotation again. Because the last thing you want is go in, die, and lose your jungle and get further behind. Instead, if your team is feeding, there's always a reason for it, right? Maybe the team out-rotated. Let's say their marksman lane went to the mid, and the mid lane started dying. You go there, you find out you couldn't get it killed. Or you look at a minimap, you're like, oh, the enemy is completely healthy. Your mid lane is dead, but the enemy team did not even use any crucial skills like ultimates or whatnot. So there's no reason, there's no point for you to rotate towards them because you can't help, you can't find a kill, you can't counter gank. What you can do is go to the opposite side where they're rotated and find as much farm as you can. The key of the story is if you're behind, there's no coming back. But if you focus on farm, there's always a chance for you to come back because you can find a flank on the enemy backline. There's always a chance for you to 1v9 because if you get the crucial kills in the team fight where the enemy team get cocky, they got over leveraged, right? They were chasing, let's say, a Chang'e, they're chasing a Clint, right? Your carry on your team. And then you just leverage the opportunity to flank the backline, kill the backline, and there's a chance to come back. Okay, it's very, very important that you do not get frustrated. If your team is losing, just farm, okay? One way or other, like go fight NPCs, which is, farm, neutral monsters. Go fight a red buff, go fight a blue buff, find as much farm as you can. You can see in this game, that's exactly what I did, right? If the team fight, if I notice that Badon goes in by himself and missed the flicker, misses dash combo, which he did like multiple times in this one game. Well, you just ignore him, right? You go do some damage, but you don't dive in and kill yourself. I immediately rotated back to jungle and keep on farming. And I'm like so farm at this point, right? In this game, I'm level 15, way far ahead compared to Argus, the entire team. When I notice they're chasing and our Badang is dead. Look, I come in, throw an ultimate. Oh, I can't do anything. I'm done, right? Go back to jungle and continue to farm. That's exactly what you want to do, right? So do not rush. Be patient. If your team fight is losing, go back to farm. That's the fourth tip. Very, very important. The next tip is actually just hide in the bush. This is in solo queue probably one of the most important tips, especially when you play assassin or like a fighter character. Because enemy team, if they're coordinated, or let's say they're not even coordinated because we're playing solo queue here. Let's just say they're playing better than your randoms, right? There is a chance that most likely because they're grouping a lot. I think you probably notice, because I notice frequently, like when I play solo queue, you always wonder, why do enemy team always have 5 people? And you're here like complete by yourself. You're like, what's going on? Why am I always fighting 1v5? Right? Where's my team at? You just get confused, right? That's actually pretty common. So one thing to counter that is to camp in the bush. So first of all, by the way, all the tips are go hand in hand, right? They go together. So let's say you're rotating your farm, you cannot fight the team, your enemy team. Your team already died, they're already feeding. After you farm, do not constantly split push, because that offers the enemy opportunity to come back, and with 5 people on you, 5v1, you die and you get frustrated. You're like, okay, my team is feeding and now they're 5v1 on me. Yeah, of course, because you kind of did that to yourself. Don't do that to yourself. So don't split push always. Sometimes it's good to be patient, and then after you farm, rotate to a bush and camp. You might catch the enemy jungle or mid lane rotation back after they won that team fight, because after enemy team won a team fight, guess what they will do? They will try to go back to their jungle, go to your jungle and farm. And you just have to look at a mini map again, all the tips combined together, right? And understand and kind of guess, do an intelligent guess. Okay, well, there's farm here on the enemy jungle. There are dots on the enemy jungle that just came up, or they're red buff from my jungle. Guess what? Right? They just pushed tier 1 tower in mid. There's a good chance the enemy Argus or enemy whatever might come to steal the red. And what you can do is leverage the opportunity to camp in your own jungle in a bush and wait for him to use crucial skills onto the red buff, and then you follow up and find a return kill. This is beneficial in multiple different ways. If you kill the enemy jungle, that jungler, that means that opens up enemy jungle for you to invade again, and it gives you more opportunity to snowball and then outplay your opponent, right? This game you can see right now, we're so far ahead. We're pushing every single tower in. I overpower Argus way too much to a point where one shot equals to a kill, right? He couldn't do anything and he just died. So right here, skill 1, and he's dead. I want to show you a particular play in the middle. All right, let's analyze this specific play, right? This is very, very important to wrap up our 5 major important tips and tricks for today's solo queue ranking up. You're gonna see that in this particular situation, my entire team is dead, right? Except for Chang'e. Chang'e's the only one alive. Everybody else is dead. And how did it die? They were over pushing on the bottom side, and CC's just trying to help. And CC just got caught, and he couldn't get away. But everybody else is dead. I don't know why Clint is still in that position, knowing that everybody's dead. He's still there, right, in the minimap. And that's how Clint died as well. And this is very, very unfortunate situation, right? Because the fact that they're all dead, we couldn't do anything. I couldn't push. There's no minion wave. Lord is coming out in 40 seconds. So look what I decided to do. And there's not too much farm available. But look at the minimap and notice, okay, well, there's a wave coming mid. There's a good chance enemy team is going to try to push mid tier 1 tower. And I'm going to camp here without moving, without farming lane, without doing stupid stuff. Just don't ADHD, just wait. And now I notice that Granger walking towards this bush, instant ult, one shot of Granger. When they lose their carry like that, when they lose point, and there's a way of saying this, by the way. When any team lose point means losing like a key position, right? Which is, in this case, their carry. I instantly followed up and killed their Sicilian. So that's instant double kill flank on enemy core. When we have 3 people dead, right? And enemy team all alive, and I solo killed 2 of their carries, which give me an opportunity to invade. But if I see Argus there's no reason for me to risk my life. You know, see, if I do some poke and realize, okay, I can't do too much. Guess what I do? Quickly go back to farm, right? And then now Madara is available. We can just kill Madara. And that's it, guys. That's your 5 very important tips and tricks in solo queue ranking up. Hope you guys learned something from this video. Hopefully this is useful. If it is, make sure to like, subscribe, and share this with your friend. With that, assassindave signing off, and I'll see you guys next time, if there's next time. Bye for now.